4, 3, 2, 1. Just going. I'm John Miglosh for the WDMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. I get more posts when I don't post it right to LinkedIn. I invited Stephen Yu on today. I don't know if he'll come. I mean, it was like, a LinkedIn message about 10 seconds ago. But we're going to talk a lot about his latest article in Target Marketing. And I have to say, I was ready to rip that article to shreds until I saw that it was Stephen who wrote it. It's the trouble with knowing people and liking them. You can't be as mean as you'd like. So we'll be nicer because Stephen and I should be working together because we just agree on everything. But we have different methodologies, which I think are very, very complementary. Anyway, but on that note, we're going to talk about AI again today, and I'm going to announce a webinar, the Onramp to AI, as we go along. But before we do, I wanted to show you this excellent. I tried to search on AI humor and big data. So this is a girl, and she walks into a speed dating restaurant, and she has some technology.
So you could say I'm a businessman. Yes, I prefer to call myself an entrepreneur, though an entrepreneur of life.
She's checking out his credit card.
By the way, I have
She's checking out whether he's on the level or not. He's been unemployed for the last 10 months. That's her little analyzer. And this guy's a librarian, and he organizes global chats. This guy is some artist from Alcoholics Anonymous. She finds his registration. This guy's all into eating, all his groups. And so this is what people think of AI. They think this is what it's going to do for you. My Little Pony users group. And finally she finds somebody that's half decent, but we're going to skip that part. And then they have this idea that AI or big data is love. It's like, I think if my wife and I knew all about everything about each other, we never would have managed. In fact, we're so in love now. But it takes a lot. And, it's easy to throw up roadblocks. And I think that's kind of the way I look at AI, is that most of the articles and most of the stuff around ought to be a roadblock to you. Ought to stop you from doing AI, not help you get going. So let's go over to Stephen's. I'm just going to do Stephen's article today because, first of all, I admire Stephen a lot. He seems to be doing what I'd like to do, which is mostly consulting. But he points out that AI is not the end of the road. Like a scientific journey, it's a constant series of hypotheses, testing, and course corrections. Now, the trouble we've got here is who pays for it? Who pays for science? Right? And I think this is partly why only the biggest companies have big R&D laboratories. Right? Now, having said that, who makes most of the scientific breakthroughs? They were a former president of a division of Texas Instrument and I had dinner years ago, and he was telling me that for literally decades there was a red LED and a green LED. I remember putting them on my train set when I was a kid. And an LED is a light emitting diode, and you just run a little power through it, very little power, and it generates light. It's wonderful. And everybody knew if somebody could figure out a way to build a blue LED, just a blue one. Red was easy, green was easy, blue wasn't coming. And he said Texas Instrument and Sony and everybody was spending infinite money trying to figure out a blue LED because then you could have flat screens and cell phones and all the rest. It's basically all you look at now. I know there's some others, but that was the big breakthrough. So guess which company with all their R&D figured out the blue LED. He said a guy in his garage in Tokyo did it. One guy trying a lot of stuff. And that's kind of the way science works. I have a master's in epistemology and philosophy of science, and most people think science advances by confirming theories. No, it's more disconfirmation. And you know what? Big R&D budgets don't like continuous disconfirmation. It takes a nut like Edison to do 900 plus attempts at a filament that can light with electricity through it. Right? 900 plus attempts. Or was it 9,000 plus? I think it was. I think it was about the 10,000th try. Big R&D budgets would be fired by then. And that's a little the way it is with AI. It's the scientific method, like Stevens says. And now we're seeing that even with those big budgets, 80% of AI projects have no return on investment. Steven asks, is there a book out there? Or if there's a book out there, many ask him about it, it would look like a long series of case studies, not some definitive roadmap for all. Okay, well, one of the big breakthroughs in my direct marketing career was this book, Direct Marketing Success by Freeman Godson Jr. And in here, there's a chapter, which I'm going to try and let you see. Let's see if I can. I don't know if the light's good enough. But it says, why professionals do not guess response rates. It says, if you're talking with a direct marketing consultant and you ask him, what's the response rate going to be? Predict, right? And he gives you a number, any number, doesn't matter what. You know the guy in front of you is clueless about direct marketing and direct mail. He says there's dozens of factors. Now we're talking AI where there's thousands of factors. That's what they want you to believe. And he says, so give up. But he does say you might be able to work backwards and say, well, what would we need for a break even? And then see if the factors make sense. And that triggered me into building basic break-even analysis, BEA, spreadsheets, which found their way into some of the biggest companies in America and got me started as a data marketing and database guy. Heaven help us. That book. Well, now I got a book, and Stephen, I really do recommend you read it. If you send me an email, go to PayPal and put in john@migmar.com, MIGMAR. You can get this, put in $20, I'll sign it, I'll write you a note, we'll send it off. You know what it is? It's a roadmap to how to make money with data. You might laugh at that, but you know what? There's a lot of basic stuff to being a doctor and diagnosing things. It's like a doctor's work. I can tell you a couple of key variables. I can tell you a couple of sets of dimensions that you can start with. Now, it's a lot of work, like Stephen points out. Here's why. You may end up automating inadequate decision-making processes, getting wrong answers really fast. And data preparation often takes up as much as 80%, if not more, of the whole process. Right. We have a data spec. It's 9 pages. Here, this is what we're looking for. All of this, all of this, all of that. And let us know whatever else you got. We sent it off to a e-commerce company a couple of months ago. Said, look it over, send it to your IT people, see if they have any questions. Most people are happy with it. We didn't get any questions. About 2 days later, we got a whole data set complete, ready to go. That's how we start. And you know what? Then we can tell. No, then we can't tell what data is meaningful, what data is complete. You know how we tell? We throw it in our system, because our system is designed to reveal the holes in data. It's an on-ramp to AI. I want to fight with you, but I know you're right. You're right because everyone's taking this R&D approach. They don't know what they're looking for. They don't know what they've got. And guess what? They don't know when they win at the end because they aren't set up to win. They haven't built the right direction. Like I told the Hudson Bay with their data what do they call it? I don't remember, but it was some consultant made up name. JAD session. That's what we had, a JAD session. And they generated a 500-page data spec. And at the end, they hired me to read it. I declined, and I said, it's an Eiffel Tower. It looks like a bridge, but it will never get you anywhere. They said, that's what we thought too. So anyway, in conclusion, I think, it's 10 minutes is too short to cover this. And in defense of Stephen, he's right. He's mostly right. Especially if you don't know what you're doing, you better get organized. But you can take years getting organized, or you can jump on the Onramp, and we'll start you with a clear ROI. In fact, we're so confident we can guarantee an ROI. We're not going to guarantee we win, but we're going to guarantee that you know who won. And that's something I don't hear many times. And it's 3-4 month process, 3-month process with about a 3-month wait to see what happened. Because you got to wait a little bit, because we have to have maximal engagement. And I'm going to cover that, and I'm going to make it later in August as the anniversary of my webinar launch, which was the last week in August. So keep in mind, stay tuned. I'll probably do one of my quarterly emails where quarterly. I'm so diligent. Anyway, like and share. If you're interested, read my book. $20. You don't have to spend $1 million on a data team and ROI budget. Just try that. It's the book Steven's looking for. Honesty is. Leave it at good enough, though the machine won't understand what that means. I'm John Miglosh. Like and share. Share shows you care.